Hi everybody, I hope everybody had a nice Christmas. I'm stepping on things. I made this, well, I started this outfit a long time ago. I never finished it. I finally got around to finishing it, and it's that overskirt for this. And once I actually finished the outfit, I wasn't crazy about the muslin skirt underneath. So what I'm going to do, and this is just a plain 3/4 inch pleated skirt, what I'm going to do is make another skirt exactly, well, let me show you. I'm going to make another skirt exactly the same as this one and make that the underskirt. So it'll be like a 2-layered skirt. So when I say I made 3/4 inch box pleats, that's how I made my turns. Every turn I made, I don't know where my camera's at. Every turn I made it, let me put her down. So I'm going to do some of this close up and some far away, but I just wanted to give you the idea of what I did. So there's 3/4 inches this way. I'm going to do another 3/4 inch this way. Of course I'm going to mark it and get it actually where it's right. And that's a box pleat. So my next box pleat is going to be the same thing. I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to do another 3/4 inch pleat, another 3/4 inch pleat, and I'm going to keep doing that until I have enough to go around the doll. I'm going to be using, more fabric, of course. This is just to show you how I did that 3/4 inch pleat, box pleat. Okay. So once I have that, and it'll be all the way to the ground, this next skirt that I make, it's going to be exactly like this one, but it'll be all the way to the ground, and then you're going to get this look. Let's see if I can get this so it'll sit up. And I think it'll be prettier than what it looks like right now. But you can do so many things with this pleated skirt, and I didn't do any sew down. I left the pleats open, and I gave her a wide waistband. So once you don't sew down on your pleats and you put it on a tight waistband, it's going to automatically flare open like that, and it's going to look really pretty on the doll. And if I have both of them underneath one another like that, it's just going to be really a pretty outfit. Another thing you can do on these box pleated skirts, of course I wouldn't be using these, but these are some of the little fabric roses I made. And so what you can do, well, here I have these ones here. You can take, well, if you're going to put it with the tulle, you could put tulle behind it. Of course you wouldn't use this fabric, of course, but you could do these roses with a piece of tulle behind them. And you can even match the roses in her headdress, and you can go all the way around, these don't match, but you can go all the way around the doll's dress with these little roses, and it would be actually a very beautiful dress. Here's some of the ones that I didn't put in the headband, and they're made out of the same fabric. But you get the idea, where you can do roses all the way around. I don't have any more of these roses. But I left the dress plain because I just thought it was pretty. But there's another option that you can do on the roses. That would be beautiful. That would look really pretty too. It would really give her a whole, give the dress a whole other look. I like the sort of elegant plainness of it, but that's just me. So anyway, here's the, because I knew I was going to make this an over blouse, I gave myself quite a bit of overlap on the back of the dress. If you'd rather not do that, you can always, put a seam and then put a waistband in with Velcro or hook and eye. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, in the interest of saving some time, I've made a few cuts already for the doll's dress. Since I already had one, I pretty much knew what I was going to need for the second skirt. But before we go there, I forgot to mention this blouse. This blouse that I used for this outfit is a reversible blouse. It was the same blouse I made for the Halloween outfit, but I didn't make it reversible when I made the Halloween outfit. I cut the way the instructions told me. I cut two of each of the front and the back, and then I sewed them together, but I had to take care of the shoulder straps, so that doesn't look good, I don't think, on a reversible outfit. You wouldn't want to see that. So on this one I actually made it reversible, but I didn't intentionally do it. I just used this plain peach color to match the dress because I just wanted lining, but I didn't want that on the top of the sleeve. So I actually did this fully reversible, but I probably will never use this side. Number one, it's just a thin cotton, and number two, you can see right through that design. Another thing you can do is take your fabric and pick a flower as your design and put that on your front piece. Like I said, this is Simplicity 4364, but if you don't have this pattern, and you may not because it might be obsolete, just take a regular little sleeveless shirt like this, or even if, because this was made to put sleeves in, just take whatever pattern you have that looks similar, even though it's straight across on the bottom, and then just add a couple downward lines, and that will give you that cute little point in the front of your blouse. So that's basically the blouse outfit. I wanted to make a couple blouses because I knew I'd probably have two skirts to match with this outfit. So what I did was I made Kelsey's, I made this waistband very wide, and because I was going to do a little puffy sleeve like a peasant blouse look on this one, to give her something in like a peach color or this maroon or some color, or even the sage green, to give her multiple outfits. So anyway, what I did was I didn't use Velcro on this. I just put in two, let me put Kelsey down, I put in two hooks and eyes, and like I said, I thought I was going to use this as an overskirt, so I gave myself quite a bit of a overlap. But like I said, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Because I'm going to put a skirt on top of the skirt, my next skirt is not going to be this wide. It's not because I didn't want to make it this wide, it's just that I ran out of fabric. So what I ended up doing was only being able to get, this is a 6.5 inch strip by 13, and I only ended up having enough for a 4 inch wide strip by 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to sew this to my skirt, and then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to encase that. So my waistband is actually 4 layers of fabric, 2 on each side. And it's just an easy way of doing it, so you don't have to turn that under, you just flip the whole thing. And I like that stiffness on the waistband because it stops the waistband from wrinkling on these doll clothes. If you use a real thin fabric, when you keep putting this on and off, you're going to get little wrinkles in here. If you do it with the double fabric method, as long as you can't see through the fabric, you're going to get a nice stiff waistband without having to use interfacing. It's just using fabric. Okay, so that was skirt number 1. This was the blouse I used. And because this was made for regular 18-inch dolls like the American Girls, I wanted to thin out the top of the shoulders. So what I did is I left this the same down here, and I just put a little tuck in here when I lost about, I folded it about 1/4 inch, which means I lost 1/4 inch twice, so I lost 1/2 inch on the waist, on the neckline of this one, and it fits the dolls much better. And the back was just a basic same back piece. I don't have it here, but it's the same thing. It was just a regular back piece. Where is it? Yeah, these two. That was just the regular back of the camisole. Didn't use, it's not the same one. Okay, so that was the blouse. Okay, so now we've got that done. So since I already had one and I didn't want to waste a lot of time on the video, I'm just going to tell you what the dimensions are to make this. But the one we're going to make is going to be all the way down to the feet. It's going to be a full length dress. So for the main piece of the dress, you're going to need 35 or 36 inches. So I cut this 35 inches by 10 and a half or 10 and a quarter. It depends on how high you want your let me put this back on the doll. Depends on how low or how much of the feet you want to show, or if you don't want any feet to show at all. It's up to you. Put her blouse back on. Okay. Alright, so let's say this is the dress and we want to determine how far from the ground we want it to be. So in this case you are going to measure from the waistband, but add yourself a 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch, whatever you use for a seam allowance, and then measure all the way to the ground. If she's going to, these are flat-footed dolls, so they're probably never going to be wearing high heels, but that one pair of pink pumps I have, it actually has a heel on it, so that's another thing you want to think about as far as the width of the skirt. Okay, so if I was going to go to the ground to the waistband, I would be 9.5 inches. Well, it's 9 1/4, plus I would need at least my 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, so that's 9.5. So once you add that 9.5, then you're going to have to put in your allowance for your hem. So in this case, it's like 6/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So 9.5 and 3/4 of an inch, 10 1/4. And that's how I figured out my 10 1/4 width. So that's 10 1/4 this way. So now to go around the waist, this doll's waist is a 10-inch waist. So by the time I add in my overlap and my seam allowances, I went to a full 13 inches. So in this case, my waistband is going to be 13 by 4.5 inches. I believe it's 4.5. No, 4. It's 13 by 4 inches because this is all the fabric I had left. And I may have this somewhere else in the house, but I'm not going to dig through everything trying to find it. So I've got my maxi skirt, my 35 by 10.5. I've got my waistband, which is 13 by 4. I've cut myself out a headband, which is this right here on the doll. And the doll's head is 13 inches, which is almost the same as the waistband. But we're going to go 13 inches, and then we're going to give ourselves some room for elastic. You can encase your elastic in your fabric and go bigger than 13 inches and then have this ruffle up if you want, or you can just, I was making this for that muslin fabric, so that's why I just used my leftover muslin. But you can use the matching fabric. So for the waist, for the headband, I did 13 inches, and I'm going to put a strip of elastic in there for the bottom. And then I'm going to attach my roses to the top of the headband. As far as the width, it's up to you what you want your width to be. I'm using, I believe it's 1 inch elastic here, 2 centimeters. No, 3/4 inch elastic here, so I had to make sure that I had this at least 3/4 of an inch so I could fit my elastic in. Same thing, you could use 1/2 inch, you can use 1/4 inch, it's whatever you want. And the only thickness you really need on this is enough room to sew your flowers on. And so it's up to you whether you want the fabric to show or whether you just want the greenery to show, or, you know, it's like I say, it's totally up to you. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I got this mossy look on this headband too. Once we finish the dress, I'll start on the headband. So I cut myself, I'm going to use regular headband fabric since I don't need another one of these. So I made this one 13 by whatever the thickness I wanted. In this case, I want my thickness to be, this is 2.5, so when I put in my 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm going to have a 1 inch wide headband for this outfit. Okay, so I've got my pieces cut. I'm going to go ahead and put that away, and then I'm going to get my sewing machine out, and then we'll actually sew the skirt and the headband together. Okay, I'll be right back.